guys, it's Emma, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then hello, nice to meet you. I'm a singer-songwriter musician-y type, and this is where the music happens. I need to do something about how much I hate this backdrop, but it's an issue for another day. Anyway, I usually post stuff that's more to do with me playing guitar and singing and music production stuff on here, but today I have a slightly different video for you guys. I'm mostly just going to talk at you pretty much the entire time, mainly because I just want to update you about something that I've started doing again, that I used to do in the past, and I've started doing again, relating to music, that may well become a feature in future if I keep this up. We will see. I'm being a bit mysterious there, but I feel like everyone knows where this is going, because I've already updated you guys on other socials about how I have taken up violin again. So that's what this video is about. Just quickly before I start, I have another channel on here called Hi It's Emma, where I say the chaos happens. I finally started posting on there again. If you want to go watch me paint some really small pictures on tram tickets, that's the most recent video I put up. I post videos usually once a week on Thursdays, either on this channel or on that channel, depending on what I've been doing that week that I've decided I wanted to film. So there will be some sort of project every week. Anyway, let's stop with the mystery and just admit that this video is basically about the fact that I have taken up violin again. Again, Emma? You mean you used to play violin at some point? Yes, I did, in fact, used to play violin. Before I played guitar, in fact, I played violin. Violin was my first love of an instrument. And that's a thing that a lot of people probably don't know about me because I haven't played it since I was about 16 years old. So, a little bit of backstory. I got my lessons through school, through the music service that used to come in and do lessons. If you've had music lessons in the UK, chances are you had them through the music service that would come in and do lessons during like the school day, and you had to like skip a lesson to go to them, which was actually quite annoying. Doing them through school meant that you got the instrument free to practice on, so they would lend you out an instrument for everyone who was doing them at school. I don't know if that was just a thing that you got if you were under a certain age or a thing you got specifically for doing the lessons through school. I just remembered that if I had carried on after school ended, one of the main reasons why I didn't carry on after I turned 16 was if I wanted to carry on at that point, I needed to buy my own violin in order to carry on because I wasn't going to be lent one anymore. So that was part of why I didn't carry on, because buying a violin, especially given if I was going to buy a violin, I wouldn't have just bought a student one, I don't think. I probably would have bought a relatively decent, at least a high-level student one. And I also just decided I wanted to take a bit of a break from it. I didn't think I was ever going to really use violin in a way that meant that I should carry it on. And I always thought, well, you know, if I decide I want to play it again in future, I can always buy myself a violin and get some lessons when I'm an adult. You know, maybe for now I focus on guitar because I knew that I wanted to write songs, and writing songs on guitar is easier than on violin, especially if you're singing at the same time, and focus on my music tech AS that I was doing that didn't wind up working out. And basically I just sort of moved away from classical music altogether, and because of that I moved away from violin. So I didn't really give it up because I stopped loving it, I more just gave it up because it wasn't really convenient at the time to carry it on. But still, 9 years went by and I never got round to taking it up again. And every now and then I would get this little urge like, oh, I really want to play violin again, and I just wouldn't, because I kept telling myself, you have to buy a violin in order to start playing violin again, and do you really think that you'll stick at it long enough that it'll be worth buying a violin? And I could never confidently answer yes to that question, so I just didn't buy a violin and didn't start playing again. Fast forward to now, and obviously I tweeted not that long ago about how I was missing playing violin again, and I was getting this urge a lot, especially because with the album that I'm working on that I keep telling you guys about, but not really telling you guys about, because I can't give you any details, because it's probably not going to come out until like next year sometime. But anyway, I'm working on the songs for this album, and there are quite a few of them that as I'm listening to them, I'm hearing strings parts on them. I'm almost definitely going to reach out to some session musicians and ask like I'd love to have cello on one of them. But I also kind of really love the idea of having actual violin parts on a couple. And you know, I'll probably end up getting a session musician in for them. But you never know. It made me think about wanting to write string parts for them, and it made me miss playing violin again, and it made me think again about how, you know, if I was playing violin, it would be another thing that I could add to my music. And I used to love it, and why have I never really gotten around to starting it again, given that I didn't give it up because I didn't love it anymore. I didn't even really give it up. It was supposed to be on pause. I was supposed to go back to it. And I wound up tweeting about it, and my buddy Joanne, one of the people I know who runs open mics off the local music scene, she was kind enough to tweet me back and say, I've got a violin that I've basically never touched. I'm not doing anything with it. If you want it on long-term loan to see if, you know, you actually want to play again, then you're more than welcome to it. And actually, someone else messaged me after I'd picked up this violin to say that they'd lend me a violin too. Everybody wants to lend me violins all of a sudden. So naturally I said, yes, please, because, you know, if I'm borrowing a violin off somebody, I'm not spending any money. And if after like a month I get over this urge to play violin, it turns out it was just one of those phases my brain has where it gets really fixated on something and it won't shut up until I do it, and then it decides that actually no, it's bored of that. I have bought stuff. I have bought so much stuff in the past thinking, I'm going to do this now, including multiple sewing projects that I still have not begun because I got this urge to make this dress or this outfit. I also have packs upon packs of unopened things like pastels. I am never going to use oil pastels. I'm never going to use oil pastels. I hate them as a medium. I don't know why I bought them, but I have 2 packs of oil pastels. Now, one of them I bought, right? One of them I bought, and one of them was bought for me. So that one's not my fault. So I know this is a thing with me, that I do sometimes get these urges to try things or do things again, or I'll get an urge to I do it with my freaking Korean all the time. I really want to learn how to speak Korean. But I'm not very good at actually keeping up the energy, so I'll go through bursts of doing lots of work on it, and then it'll be a month since I've done my daily lessons. So I wasn't really sure if violin was going to be like that, so obviously borrowing a violin has been a massive help, so thank you, Joanne. Anyway, shall we have a look at the violin? So I've had this for it's probably been about a month now, almost. And I have been practicing it almost every single day. Genuinely, there have only been like a couple of days since I got the violin that I haven't been practicing it, so we gotta give it another month before we're sure. It's a Skylark, which is a brand that I had never heard of before I got this violin. Based on some Googling that I did, I managed to establish it's a cheap, made in China type model, mainly aimed at student players. Makes sense. All the cheap ones really are student violins. And that there's a bit of a mixed review online about whether they're any good or not. Overall, it's basically said that most of them are not very great quality, but every now and then you get one that's not bad quality. Sometimes you get ones that are quite good quality. I'd say this one's not terrible, but it's not great. Like, I would not ever be able to, if I do decide that I want to record stuff in the studio, I would definitely not be able to do it on this violin. And it's also a 3/4 size, which isn't terrible. Like, I can cope with that, but I was actually playing a full-size violin when I gave it up when I was 16, so I'm getting used to playing on a 3/4 again. I will give it a play and show you how I'm doing at the moment, how I currently sound, and what the violin actually sounds like, so you can actually hear it. Then you can make a judgment for yourself if you think it's any good or not. And I'll put that in. But there she is. I do actually still have a violin, but it wouldn't have been suitable for me to practice on because I have a half-size violin, and that's definitely way too small for me to try and play now. That would not be a good plan. So far, I can say that I am really enjoying playing it again. And again, I don't know if that's going to last though, because it could just be that it's a new thing that's giving me a bit of happiness at the moment that eventually I'll get bored with. But at the moment, I've been practicing pretty much, like I said, almost every single day since I got it. And I am noticing a bit of improvement already, because when I first tried to just play a few scales, like I got my grade 3 scales and arpeggios book out. Grade 3. Bear in mind I did grade 4 before I quit. Grade 4 was the grade I got up to. So a grade above this, right? Grade 3 should not have been that hard. Oh my god, it sounded awful. I didn't get a single note in tune. And I had that horrible, the bow dragging across the strings, not quite hard enough or too hard, and trying to get back into the rhythm of it took a bit. I'm still struggling to get any of the scales genuinely in tune all the way through. I haven't managed a single scale in tune all the way through yet. But yes, I've mostly just been going over scales loads and loads, because the first time I attempted to play a single song, like after a couple of days of practicing scales, I decided to have a go at a song. I decided to have a go at, again, grade 3. I got my O Mio Bambino Caro out, because that was one of my faves to do. I loved doing this song when I did my grade 3 exam. I loved this song so much. I still love it now. It's one of my fave classical pieces. It sounded so bad. I wish I'd filmed it so I could show you just how bad it, because I can actually kind of play it now. It actually sounds like the song now. I mean, it's not a good version of it. It's a very poor rendition of it, where there's a lot of screeching for no reason and most of the notes aren't in tune half the time. But, you know, it does actually sound like O Mio Bambino Caro. The first time I played it, it did not sound anything like it. Oh, I couldn't even do, like, the first line. I just kept trying to play that. I didn't even get past, like, the first couple of bars. Like, no, this is impossible. I need to practice these scales a bit more before I try this again. I'm gonna show you guys a clip of me playing. I'm gonna hate editing that bit, because it's gonna be bad. Okay, now for the real test. Now we play O Mio Bambino Caro. This is gonna be bad. Mentally prepare yourselves for the fact that this is gonna be bad. Anyway, that's how it's going so far. Not terrible, right? I don't think it sounds that bad. But it is coming back to me slowly. Just not quite as quickly as people make out. But I will do an update video and I'll replay the song and show you how I'm doing. And I'll probably post like little updates every now and then, maybe on my socials, if you guys would be interested in knowing how I'm getting on, because I have been loving playing violin. This is bringing me so much joy at the moment. I'm so genuinely happy to have this back in my life at the moment. It's been one of the few things I look forward to every day, actually. I don't think, oh, I have to go practice now. I think, I have to go practice now. Yay! What was that? What was that noise? That was my happy violin playing noise. Anyway, I'm very much enjoying playing violin again, so I just wanted to share that joy with you and show you guys sort of a starting-ish point. This isn't quite the starting point because, like I said, I sounded a lot worse a couple of weeks ago, but I've been practicing pretty consistently and I'm improving already. That's enough of me just rambling about how much I love violin for one day, I think. I'm going to head off now and probably practice. I'll probably put up a video on this channel next week because I'm probably going to put up another update for me working on the Bad Guy song because I've been working on the guitar for that, so I'll probably be putting up an update for that next week. If you enjoyed this video, then you might want to check out some of the other videos on this channel that are absolutely nothing like this, because most of them are actually about me doing music production stuff or doing songwriting or singing or something like that. But please do go check out some of my other videos, and if you enjoy what I do here, then hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Or if you want to keep up with what I'm doing the rest of the time and keep up with how things go with the violin, then you can follow me on my social media, which are all linked in the description below. Finally, if you would like to support me in other ways, i.e. money, I do in fact have a Buy Me a Coffee page that you can go and support me on. And who knows, maybe, if I stick at this, I'll start posting exclusive violin content on there. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, that's all for this week, guys, and like I said, I shall see you guys next week with that update to the Bad Guy song recording process. But for now, I shall say toodles.